Alright guys, so we're gonna start with a life update here. I've been gone for 2 weeks because I had COVID. I just tested positive for COVID and yesterday I was really sick. I had really bad ketones and I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital because I couldn't get any fluids in me, so I couldn't get rid of the ketones and my blood sugar's been stuck. And you wanna know what the worst part was? Is when I had COVID is I didn't have a Dexcom for the whole time because it expired on me on one of my worst sick days. I did have to miss Christmas, so that was very unfortunate. I missed you guys. I'm back. I'm feeling way better by the way, but I kinda wanna talk to you guys about what the heck happened. But we're gonna start by getting into the video and then we'll talk about it because it was not fun and it was the first time I got COVID. And with having diabetes, anytime getting sick's not fun with blood sugars and ketones and all that jazz. So, all right guys, let's get into it. What am I at? 37,000 subscribers right now. Like 3 days ago, I had 1,600 of you on here. We're almost at 71,000 of you guys. Y'all are making my heart so happy right now. Like, I'm just freaking out internally. Do you know what's in here? Do you want to know what's in here? This is for 100,000 of you guys. A whole plaque for 100,000 of you all. And the craziest part is now we're at 246,000 of you guys on here. That last clip, that was like a few weeks ago, and now there's almost 250,000 of you guys on here, and I don't even know what to think. I got this when I was sick with COVID, and it came in the mail, and I obviously couldn't record because I was so sick, but I did obviously have to take a peek because the impatience in me got the best of me, but I've not fully opened it, but we're gonna open it up together because this award is for all of us, so let's do it. Let's go. Hey guys, ready? And it looks like this, and you take this off. And there's a letter from YouTube. You can pause here if you want to read this. And you take this off. And then there's a little card thing here. That's fun and exciting. Oh my god. I'm containing myself. This is an actual mirror. I didn't even get to see that. I didn't even get to see that. Okay, this is heckin' cool. This mirror, look at this, look at this. Hey. Where should I put this? I don't even know what to do with it. I don't know, it's just like right here. Really? Knowing me though, I would totally hang it crooked. Yeah. And I know this growth happened really heckin' fast. I've been making content now for like over a year, but mainly on TikTok. And YouTube, I only just hopped on here like a couple months ago and started posting shorts, and you guys just exploded my channel. And there's so many new people here. I wanna thank every single one of you. I appreciate you all so much. Before I seen content, I was not doing really good with my diabetes. Ended up just becoming something really good for me, health-wise, and something I also just genuinely wanted to do. So messages I get from you guys in the comments more than you know. So I just want to actually put out a huge thank you there. I know I'm really awkward human, but I love you guys, and I just want to say, like, actually thank you. I cannot wait to make more videos. Talk to you guys about what it was like having COVID. Let's go. I just tested positive for COVID. I'm really sick. And yesterday I was really sick. Really bad ketones, and I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital because I couldn't get any fluids in me, so I couldn't get rid of the ketones, and my blood sugar's been stuck. I don't have a Dexcom on. I feel really shitty. I was just crying yesterday. I was literally just crying because I was like, I feel so sick. And then I couldn't even do a COVID test. Like, that's how sick I was. And then I just finally got the energy today to do a COVID test. I don't feel good at all. And I'm gonna order something. Maybe. I can't eat anything. My blood sugar's at 16 again. This is not fun. And I'm gonna throw up. Have a seat with me, y'all. It's been a couple of heckin' weeks around Mary's life, and I wanna do a full update. I went shopping, and then I stopped at Tim Hortons on the way back, and I grabbed a tea and some food. We're gonna eat this while we talk about COVID. I started eating in the car, and then I stopped because I didn't have an appetite suddenly, and I was like, excuse me. Now I do, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of insulin. I tested my blood sugar like an hour ago. I'm gonna take a couple units. Let's get into it. It was the weekend before Christmas, okay? I have a lot of family on my dad's side, so I had a Christmas party on Saturday night, the 17th. Okay? It was upstairs in my house. This is a family house, so it was at my uncle and aunt's upstairs. There were some aunts that weren't coming because they were sick. A couple people left early because they weren't feeling good. I brought my boyfriend to meet my family for the first time. So then, let me just take a bite. This is good. I talk so much that my insulin is gonna work in me before I start digesting this food. Bring my boyfriend, meet all my family. They all love them. Boyfriend comes over, stays the night. We wake up the next day and I'm like, I don't feel good. I really didn't think it was from the amount of wine that I had. I had a lot of wine. I was like, something's off. And then my blood sugar kept going low, okay? So I had to have 4 juice bottles, probably in the span of 2 hours, and I didn't have an appetite. So I just kept
taking juice and it wasn't good, but I couldn't eat. But something fell off. And let's just say my stomach was not doing good or whatever day happens. That day we were supposed to go to a second Christmas thing, a gingerbread competition thing with my family. So we were like, sorry, we're sick. Monday started feeling the same. Monday I started feeling a little worse and I had to do some business calls and get all ready. And I remember being like, I don't feel like something's weird, but COVID wasn't crossing my mind. I thought like I just picked up food poisoning, something's weird, or I'm just kind of going downhill. I was sick at the end of November. So I was like, there's no way that I'm getting sick again. This is where it hit really, really bad. So we wake up on Tuesday morning and I don't think my boyfriend realized how sick I was at the time. He was like, well, why don't you just try going into work? And I'm like, I don't feel good. Like I'm going downhill. And I think I was trying so hard to not get sick those couple of days, like just being like, oh, I'll be fine. I was not fine. So then Tuesday, he wakes me up, he goes to work. Oh, I was a wreck. Tuesday, so that would have been the 18th, 19th, December 20th. I was a mess. I woke up, I was like, I definitely have a fever. I'm so nauseous right now. My stomach feels sick. And I was so nauseous and the pressure in my head was just getting worse. Constantly was checking my temperature. It was staying average and I was like, this is weird. Like I feel like I have a fever. What is going on? And the worst part is on that day, my Dexcom ended. So I went into my drawer to be like, okay, I need a new Dexcom. Like I need to pull myself together to at least get that on so I can see what my blood sugar's on. I opened up my drawer. There were absolutely no Dexcoms in there. My fault. Thanks a lot. I just wasn't feeling good to figure it out. So I left it. I had a lot of test strips and I was like, we're just gonna test strip it out. Joke's on me. I was too sick to even do that. And from the amount of nausea I had that day, I was just like calling Mick. I remember calling Mick, my best friend, and just crying. I'm like, I'm so sick. And so I went to do a ketone check and it was like one of the darkest colors. I couldn't even get a sip of water in me like all day. I only ended up throwing up once, but it was the worst. Like I wanted to more, but it wasn't. It was just nausea for hours with the pounding headache and just sick. Then I finally got a fever and then I couldn't even keep Tylenol down. So it was going downhill. I almost ended up in the hospital because of my ketones and I couldn't flush them out and I couldn't eat anything. I can't drink anything. I can't do anything with my blood sugars. And the worst part is I spent practically 9 out of 10 hours in that day in the bathroom and I was just like too sick to test my blood sugar. So at this point, I didn't even consider COVID. I don't know why. I think it's because I've never gotten it before. So I was like, okay. I was like, I am getting it. I am sick. Like, this is not fun. So I texted my sister. I was like, do you have a COVID test? I need a COVID test. So she gives me one. And that day I was too sick to still do it. Like I couldn't even physically do a freaking COVID test. So we're gonna roll around now to Wednesday. Okay. And then my boyfriend still came back Tuesday night. I was like, maybe you shouldn't. Like I'm getting pretty sick. And he was like, no, like don't worry. It'll be okay. And I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. Like you've been around me. You've been feeling the same way. I'm just way worse. So sure, come on back. So he came back there and brought me some Gatorade and just wanted like some Gatorade Zero to get in me and hydrate the heck out of me because of this ketone situation. And at this point, also what crossed my mind is when I tested positive for ketones, like huge ketones, I was like, I can't tell if I'm so sick right now from my blood sugars or I am sick. So that was a whole other problem going on. And I was like, this is so fantastic right now. Love having diabetes. Wednesday rolled around, my boyfriend goes to work. I say, I'm feeling worse. I felt either the same or worse. I don't remember. I just was not feeling good. He goes to work and I get a text around like noon of him being like, I feel like crap. Like I just don't feel good. I'm like, I think you're sick. Like, I think you're sick. I was still too sick to do a COVID test. Like I couldn't do anything that involved running to the bathroom or running to my bed. There was no in between. My boyfriend gets off work and I think we already knew he was coming back that night, which was kind of nice because I live alone. But as he's coming back, I'm like, I'm gonna do a COVID test because I was like, I should do a COVID test actually if he is gonna be coming back because I don't want him going into work if I have COVID. We whipped out a COVID test, which drained the heck out of me. Do it, and then I did the test and I'm like, whatever. I go back and I'm like, oh, it's positive. And I think everybody getting COVID the first time, you're like, oh, like it's actually positive. Like every time you get sick, you're like, is it COVID? Is it COVID? One time that I didn't think it's COVID, it was heckin' COVID. So I was positive.
I just tested positive for COVID.
Called my boyfriend. I'm like, I'm positive. Like, yeah. And then he tested. He's like, I'm positive. And I'm like, great. He comes over. The next day he got worse. I was still really bad. I was starting to, like, I was a little more functional. Like if I had to do the COVID test the next day, like I would have been like, okay, like I can do it, but I'm not feeling good. I woke up and then that day I was more concerned with him because I knew I got a fever. And then from the symptoms he was telling me, I was like, you definitely have a fever. So I kept making sure he was checking his temperature and giving him Tylenol, bring it down. And he was getting all the same symptoms. So he slept through that entire day. And then we get to Thursday, it was just still sick, Friday. And then, you know, that's when it's going into Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and we had to cancel. I have a Dexcom through all of this. And it was just so insane. Yeah, I had to miss everything. Let's just say I spent a lot of money on Skip, the dishes, and DoorDash, and so did he. But yeah, that's kind of where my life's been at the last few weeks, and it feels so good to get back on film and do TikToks and YouTube and all that jazz again. And then on New Year's Eve, me and my boyfriend went to his parents' house to give me a little gift that they got me for Christmas, which was nice. Anyways, finished eating this, so yeah. I'm editing this right now, and I completely forgot to give an outro, so here's the outro. I love you guys. I want you guys to comment some video ideas that you want to see next, and I'm also curious what happened with your guys' blood sugars when you had COVID, so comment if you have had COVID and what happened to you. My biggest problem was ketones, so I'm sure a lot of you struggled with that too. Lots of highs and lots of lows as well for some reason. It was kind of all over the place. Give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you in a few days. And I'm gonna go continue to edit. Love you guys, bye.